We all have shit that we wish we would have said. There are words I have never said that still haunt me. Not because I didn't care, but because I didn't know how to say them. And now I carry those with me as extra weight. Welcome to the bench session, where we unload the weight one session at a time. I'm Juan, and this is a space for real talk. The kind that doesn't always make it into group chats or gym conversations. There's no guests, there's no filters, it's just me, a mic, and my truth. Let's get into it, shall we? Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to get into some shit. Particularly the shit we held back. The stuff we should have said to somebody. The messages we drafted in our heads but never actually hit send. The words that sat in our chest and never made it out. Some were about love, some were about pain, some were pride. But guess what? One thing they all have in common. We never said them. They're still lingering. The almost apologies. You ever think about someone you hurt but you never apologized to? Yeah, I've been there. But you didn't apologize not just because you didn't care, but because you didn't want to look weak. Or maybe you didn't want to reopen a wound. Or maybe you thought that they were the one who should apologize first. But silence doesn't heal anything. It just delays the wound. One thing you have to realize that in an argument, just like in war, everybody's right, nobody's wrong. So we're going to get a little deep here, a little more about me and some of the shit that I wish I would have said. But now it's too late. And it has nothing to do with an ex-girlfriend or any of that shit. It's things I should have said to people that are no longer in this world. And I've been carrying that with me for so many years. We all experienced loss in one point of our lives. I lost both my oldest brother and my mother. Not at the same time, but within a few years of each other. The first one was my oldest brother. You know, cancer's a bitch, and that's what took him. One of the things that I wish I would have said is how much I loved him. My family wasn't, or pretty much wasn't big on the I love yous. It was rarely ever said. So that's one of the shits that's still lingering in me, and one of the things I wish I would have said more to my brother is that I loved him. He had his flaws, don't get me wrong, but nobody's fucking perfect. We all have our goddamn flaws. But we still love each other. When he passed, I never got a chance to tell him that I loved him. And I was there when he passed. I was watching him on essentially what ended up being his deathbed. But those words never came out. Now he's up there just watching down, and I hope he knows that I loved him. His death kind of broke the family up. My older brother and my mom were never the same. And typical of this podcast, I never said anything. I held it all in because that's what I thought I needed to do in order to be the rock. Like we talked about, be the rock for the family. And I did that. I did that for many, many years. And I don't know if I ever fully grieved his passing. And that's on me. And then I still remember the day that my mother had her stroke. It was early morning. I was doing laundry. And I went to the basement where washer and dryer were. And I started hearing my dogs just massively barking nonstop. And, typical Hispanic, they were Chihuahua. So I assumed that somebody was at the door. But when I came up, my mom was on the floor. And my older brother was on the phone with 911 trying to get an ambulance out. My mom regained consciousness when I was there, but she couldn't speak. She couldn't move, but I saw it in her eyes. She was afraid. She was panicking, and that hurt to see the one person that in my eyes was invincible. She was invulnerable, and like nothing could cause her pain that way. And don't get me wrong, I was not a teenager or anything like that, but I knew people get older, people die, people get sick, and all this other shit. But it's my mom. I never saw me losing my mother in my 20s, or my late 20s, early 30s. I didn't see that happening. I didn't see me being alone essentially in the world until well into my 50s, my 60s. That's what I envisioned, because I wasn't ready. But the ambulance came. They took her to the hospital. I rushed behind them. They performed surgery to try to help with the brain swelling. Everything they did, nothing worked. Nothing worked at all. The options that they gave us were keep her on life support or drill half her skull out in order to help relieve the pressure in her brain. And even that wasn't a guarantee that she was going to make it. And if that didn't work, she would end up on life support anyway. So with that information and knowing who my mother was, my brother and I had to make the most difficult decision that we ever had to make in our lives. We had to ignore anybody else's point of view and just go with what we knew our mother wanted. And she never wanted to be on machines keeping her alive. So that's exactly what we did. We told the doctors that she never wanted to be on life support. And if she wasn't going to recover from her current condition, then there was nothing we can do. And we had to respect her wishes of just letting her pass. And I'll tell you something, that was the longest night of my life. I didn't sleep. I just watched her. And I just wanted to tell her all these things. In my brain, she was going to snap out of it and be back to who she was. So I never said the things. I never said, I love you. I never said any of those things. Telling her how much she meant. I'm sure she felt it and knew it, but the words were never actually something that came out of my mouth. I do remember one question, more of a statement, that I said to her, even though she was eyes closed and just in the bed. I said, it's okay. We're going to be okay. If you're tired and you don't want to fight, it's okay. And I saw a tear come out of her eye, and rolled down the side of her head. And that was the last emotion that I remember of my mother. Come the morning, my family, friends, they were there, told me to go home, take a break, shower. My older brother was going to stay there. So despite all my resistance and argument of I didn't want to leave, I ended up leaving and going home to shower. And as I got out the shower, my best friend picked me up and we went to get some food. As we were eating, I got the phone call from my brother telling me to get back to the hospital because things weren't looking good. So I told my best friend, I need you to take me to the hospital right now. And if you can't do it, I will figure out a way, but I'm going to make it there. And we drove all the way to the hospital. Unfortunately, by the time I got there, it was too late. She had passed. I never really got to say goodbye. I never got to tell her that I loved her. I never just said any of the things that I wanted to say other than it's okay. We're going to be okay. And to this day, I believe that's what she was waiting for. So when I said those things that night that we were going to be okay, I think that's what allowed her to find peace and pass away the following day. That pain is still there. It doesn't go away. It's a hole that I have inside. No matter what I do, nothing's ever going to fill that hole. And yes, there's many days where I just want to sit down in anywhere or just go somewhere or just take a drive in my car and just because that's how I feel inside. I just feel like screaming my head off. I know it's not going to do anything, but it's going to just get everything that I have inside out. So now you guys know a little bit about me. So if there's some shit that you haven't said to somebody, what are you waiting for? If it's something that needs to be said, just say it. If it's something they need to hear, tell them. You do not want the weight of that silence to be with you. Just say whatever it is you need to say. Thanks for sitting with me. If this stirred up a few words you've been holding on to, maybe today's a day to let them out. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Same bench, same real talk. Stay grounded. Stay real.